Nagasudha ji, are you there?
Hello?
Nagasudha ji, you can start now.
Yeah. शक्ति सहित गणपतिं शङ्करादिसेवितं विरक्त सकल मुनिवर सुरराज विनुत गुरुगुहं शक्ति सहित गणपतिं शङ्करादिसेवितं विरक्त सकल मुनिवर सुरराज विनुत गुरुगुहं भक्तालिपोषकं भवसुतं विनायकं भक्तालिपोषकं भवसुतं विनायकं भुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदं भूषिताङ्गं रक्तपदाम्बुजं भावयामि शक्तिसहित गणपतिं शङ्करादिसेवितं विरक्त सकल मुनिवर सुरराज विनुत गुरुगुहं भक्तालिपोषकं भवसुतं विनायकं भुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदं भूषिताङ्गं रक्तपदाम्बुजं भावयामि शक्तिसहित गणपतिं शङ्करादिसेवितं विरक्त सकल मुनिवर सुरराज विनुत गुरुगुहम्. धन्यवादः सर्वेभ्यः.
Thank you, Nagasudha Pranavaji. Today we started with the Ganapati prayer, which is completely in Sanskrit. This Ganapati Prarthana is completely in Sanskrit. I think it is written by Purandaradasa, and it has a modern touch in song. So Purandaradasa ji wrote this song in a modern touch. Okay, let us come to the class. Namaste everyone. I'm happy that all you are attending the second class. And today we are going to learn about the outlook of the Sanskrit literature. Outlook of the Sanskrit literature. Without understanding the literature or without knowing the outlook of literature, generally getting into the language is a bit difficult. So today we are going to learn about that outlook. So let me share the screen to you. Today's PowerPoint. Did you get the screen today? Yeah. Is that clear for everyone?
Yes.
Lakshmi Datbul Suji, is clear? Yeah, thank you. Today we are going to learn about the literature. We call it as Sahityam. The word Sahityam, many generally girls will be named as Sahiti or Sahitya, etc. Sahityam, the division of the word is Hitasya Sahitam. Hitam means good. Sahitam means associated, which is associated with good is called as Sahityam. Okay, so our Sanskrit Sahitya started from our ancient times and it is classified into two, ancient Sahityam and modern Sahityam. Ancient is completely related to the Vedas, how to understand Vedas, etc. Modern Sahityam is nothing but poetry. Modern Sahityam started with poetry. Ancient Sahityam is filled with Veda and its understandings. Okay, let us go to the first slide. Sanskrit literature is ancient and modern. Today, we'll be discussing only on ancient Sahityam. As I earlier told you, modern Sahityam is entirely filled with poetry, starting from Kalidasa, Bhasa Mahakavi, Bharavi, Sriharsha, Magha, etc., etc. All those, just from then to till today, whatever the literature is there, we can call it as modern Sahityam. Ancient literature only based on Vedic understandings. Ancient literature is on Vedic understandings. What is the meaning of Veda? Very simple. Vid is a dhatu. Vid means knowledge. Veda, which is filled with knowledge, is called as Vedam. Vedam is nothing but a knowledge filled one. Later on, it is classified. I'll just tell you how it just happened. But Vedic literature is nothing but Sahityam, knowledge filled literature. About 10,000 years ago, according to the Bal Gangadhar Tilak, one of historian recorded it, like Vedas are existing before 10,000 years. It is actually recording, we don't know, more than it may be more than 10,000 years also. We know Veda Vyasa. How many heard about Veda Vyasa? Veda Vyasa, the word classified as Vedanam V plus Asa. Vedanam of Vedas, V Visheshataya Asa divided. A person who divided Vedas specially in a good categories is called as Veda Vyasa. The name itself tells that he did something great work. Previously, he was not called as Veda Vyasa. When he took birth, he was called as Parashara Putraha Parasharyaha. Veda Vyasa was called as Parasharasya Putraha, son of Parashara. He is son of Parashara. He is called as Parasharyaha. As we all know, Vasudeva is a father, Vasudeva is son. In the same way, Parashara is a Rishi. His son is called as Parasharyaha. Here, what he did, that Parasharyaha classified Vedas into 4. All the Vedas which are in a heap, he took out every mantra and classified one. Okay, this is a Rig Veda mantra. Okay, this is a Yajur Veda mantra. Okay, this is a Sama Veda mantra. And this is Adharva Veda mantra. He classified into 4. Actually, Vedas are only 3. We call it as a Trayi. Trayi means only 3 Vedas. They are Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, only Sama Veda. The concept of all these Rig, Yajur, Sama Vedas, which are scientific mantras, which are useful for sociological conditions and training and practice. The 4th one came out, we call it as Adharva Veda. That's why you might have heard all the ancient sciences and flights, planes, warfare, etc. can be seen in Vedic literature. Where we can see in Vedic literature? Particularly in Adharva Veda. So Veda Vyasa, what he did? He classified Vedas into 4. How to understand? In Rig Veda, we can find all prayers. Ruk means appreciation. Rig means appreciation. Rig Veda, in which all you can find appreciation of Agni Deva, appreciation of Rudra, appreciation of Indra, appreciation of Vayu, appreciation of Brahma, etc. In Samaveda, all these appreciations will be sung in songs. That's why we call Sama means singing. Music came out of this Samaveda only. Next, Yajurveda. How to do sacrifices like performing yajnas and yagas. How to perform a yajna. How to perform a yajna of Rudra. What are the mantras? We can just spell in Rudra Yaga. Okay, Ashwamedha Yaga, etc., etc. So all these yajnas related stuff can be seen in Yajurveda. I already told you in Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, whatever the Veda you find, whatever the scientific knowledge you find, all those mantras were recollected and just established in Adharva Veda. Very clear knowledge. Rigveda is about appreciations. Samaveda is about singing mantras and just making people satisfied. Do you ever heard in royal courts, 2 people used to be standing and they sing Raja Dhiraja, Raja Martanda, Raja Gambhira. They'll sing like this, they appreciate. How it looks? Very like such a great king. Like we can understand the greatness of the king with the wordings of the singers. In the same way, gods will be satisfied with the appreciations of our mantras, through our mantras in Samaveda. The mantras will be like this. Ha, oha, oha, o. Ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam. Like this. All those are more prolongings. Like it's like singing. All these type of singing like songs are there in Yajurveda. I know a friend, he's called as Kshetra Mohan. He is a very beautiful scholar in Samaveda. Okay. Next is Adharva Veda, where we can see all the knowledge stuff is related, which are practically utilized, practically used. Next. So who classified this? Vedavyasa. Before Vedavyasa, there is no classification of Vedas. People used to have it in their brain. They used to use in time, but he precisely, particularly classified into four: Rigveda, Yajurveda, Sama, and Atharva. And what he did, he found almost thousands of Upanishads. Upanishads means Vedantas, Vedanta Granthas, Upanishads, where you sit near to a teacher and just understand the essence of Vedic literature is called as Upanishads. Sahasra Shakha Upanishadaha. Thousands are there. But at present we are getting 108. At present we are getting available is 108, in which 10 are very, very important. 10 are very, very important. When we tell that Isha Vasya Upanishad, Isha Kena, there is a shloka also, beautiful shloka. Isha Kena Katha Prashna Munda Mandukya Tittirihi Aitareyancha Chandogyam Burhadaranya Kandasha. Okay, there are 10. I'll let you later onwards, later in other classes, I'll just tell you the Upanishad literature, then I'll explain you. So 108 Upanishads are there, 10 are very famous. All those just found out by Vedavyasa, and 18 Puranas. You know Purana, right? Agni Purana, Vayu Purana, I'll tell you later. So those Puranas also written by Vedavyasa, and Mahabharata also written by Vedavyasa. Let me be clear how much time he got. Vedavyasa is not a person, he is a position. There are 28 Vyasas in our ancient literature told by Parashara Maharshi, who is the father of Vedavyasa. Parashara Maharshi was also considered as one of a Vyasa. Like we have a dean position, right? We have a dean position. In that way, Vedavyasa is a position where 28 people occupied the seat. After Vedavyasa, we don't have any person called Vyasa. That's the reason he is considered as Vedavyasa. As will be notified as the last person, like last person is great. We just conclude there. In that way, previously there are 28 people. After Vedavyasa, there is no qualified person to sit in the chair. So we just remember that who is Vedavyasa means the last person Vedavyasa. Previously 27 members were there. It is there in Vishnu Purana. If anyone wants, I'll just give out the reference also. So there are 28 Vedavyasas. Last one is Vedavyasa. Okay. So let me tell you, only Vedavyasa did it means the previous people also contributed a lot. The dean position, particularly called Vedavyasa position, brought out all the literature. What is Mahabharata? The essence of Vedic literature is Mahabharata to focus on supporting dharma. Ashtadasha Purananam Saramekam hi vartate. Dharmasya Parirakshanam Adharmasya Tyagaha. All 18, the essence of 18 Puranas is Dharma Rakshana and Adharma Tyagaha. Okay, what are 18 Puranas? The important topics and concepts of Vedas were just picked up and explained as a Purana. 18 Puranas are nothing but the Vedic literature concepts only, which are important. It was taken out and just explored as a Purana. So Vedavyasa, what he did? He just understood the complete Veda and just gave one essence as Mahabharata and 18 concepts as Puranas. 108 Upanishads told by different sages. He collected all the Upanishads and just give us to the society. Okay. Yeah, we can call as Vedas as 4 books, 4 sections. Every literature is of 4 types. Like number 1 is in Vedic literature, there are 4 categories. Very important. Samhita. Contain mantras, Samhita. In Vedic literature, there are 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva. Particularly in Vedic literature, again, there is a 4 categories. Number 1, Samhita, where you can find only mantras. Brahmanas, they are teaching of rituals. ritualistic teaching. Aranyakas, Aranyaka, which was, we can call it as a discussion sitting in Aranya. Debates which happened in Aranya are considered as Aranyakas. It is nothing but like conferences. When a conference happens in a society of Brahmin scholars are called as Brahmanas. When a seminar happens in Aranya, we call it as Aranyakas. In that seminar, beautiful findings will come out, lot of research and paper presentations will come out. Those things are together compiled and just set as Aranyakas. So we understand the concept. Nowadays, we are setting international conferences, national conferences, UGC conferences, etc. Scientific conferences and literature conferences. There used to be a lot of bigger conferences with huge number of people. The first one is called as Samhitas. The second is Brahmanas, the scholarism between the scholars. Sitting in forest, they just compile scholar. We call this particular time is called as Chaturmasya Diksha. In the rainy season, so saints like Rishis and Munis never went out. They sit in a hermitage, that ashrama, and just discuss about the scholastic concepts. In that way, Aranyakas just was introduced. Samhita about mantra sahityam. Brahmana is about Brahma Jnana Sahityam. Aranyaka, the discussions and discourses or debates happened in Aranyas. Last one is Upanishads. Upanishads is nothing but our shortcuts. Apart from learning all the entire Vedic literature, if you just go through the Upanishad, you will find out the knowledge of Vedas. The other wordings, we can say like this. Apart from reading the entire Veda, no. After reading the entire Veda, you need not revise the entire Veda again to recollect the essence of Veda. If you read the Upanishads, you will recollect the entire mantra sahitya of Veda. To have a shortcut, to have a short view or a bird view, you need not go. If you just take a flight, it looks beautiful to see the earth. That's bird view. To have a bird view, Upanishads will help out. Okay. So philosophical section, Vedanta. That is why as Upanishads are ending of the Vedas. In the four categories, Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka and Upanishad. Upanishads are ending, so we call Upanishads as Vedanta. Vedasya Anta, ending of the Veda, we call as Vedanta. Very important. Next is Upanishads. Sorry. We know Vedas, right? In Vedas, we have some other perception which is useful to the society is Upanishads. Number one, in Ayurveda, we got Veda knowledge, Ayurveda lifespan knowledge. Knowledge of lifespan we call as medicinal knowledge. Upaveda, Dhanurveda, that is archery we use in warfare to protect self. In the concept of self-defense, we use Dhanurveda. We call as Ardha Veda. It's a it's a printing error. Artha Veda, A-R-T-H-A, Artha Veda. It is economy. We can just get it in Vedic education. Last one is Gandharva Veda. Gandharva Veda means the knowledge of Gandharvas, that is singing, orchestra, musical instrument, knowledge, etc. We can get Gandharva Veda from Samaveda, Dhanurveda, etc. All these from Adharva Veda. Gandharva Veda can be taken from Samaveda. There is another concept, even people call it as what is that? Shilpa Vedam. Shilpa Vedam is sculpture. People also tell that sculpture is from Vedic time only. In that way. So Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Ardhaveda, Gandharva Veda, and Shilpa Veda. These are considered as 4 Upavedas, sub-Vedas. Like, come to the Shastras. Shastras are called as limbs of Veda Purusha. If Veda is a person, he'll have limbs, eyes, nose, mouth, head, hands, legs, etc. In that way, we have 6 Shastras to understand Veda or to structurize Veda. Number 1, Siksha. We call it as Siksha. What is Siksha? Called as phonetics. How to spell out the mantras. What are the meanings and differentiation between small syllables and pronunciation differences? And what are the disciplines focused on letters and Sanskrit alphabet? What is the quantity? Where to stress, where not to? Where is a hrasva? Where is a dirgha? Where is a high number of dirgha? Etc. How to recite something? For example, there is a concept called a Raja, a king who will go to a forest to collect the wood for the yajna. Raja should go. He should not command somebody just go bring the firewood from the forest. He himself should take an axe, should go to the forest, should check a good tree, which is like Ayurveda prescribed tree. He should just cut the branches. He should let it dry. Then he should bring out for the firewood. If he go to the tree, if he hits with an axe, is it called violence or non-violence? Tree is also alive. If he hits the tree with an axe, if he cuts it, tree will feel pain. So what he should do? O Shadhe Trayasva Enam. He requests a tree, telling that, oh tree, please excuse this axe. It is hitting you. But you are being utilized for yajna, for a better purpose of the society. So I request you to not to get angry on this axe. It is not its mistake. In the other perspective, he tells to the axe, saying that Swathite mainam higumsi. O axe, please don't hurt the tree because it is also having life. Cut it without pain. So forget about whether it will feel pains or not. It is an emotion carried by a king to protect everybody, even a tree. Or if he is utilizing them for a good purpose, yajna for the society, he requests, prarthana, he prays the tree not to just curse the axe. So all these, what is the meaning of this mantra, where to tell it, where to stress it, where to classify, etc. can be told in Siksha. Another small example, Indradeva, some Rakshasa called Vrutrasura is performing a yaga. Many Brahmins will do Sandhya Vandanam, right? To just give weapons to Surya Bhagwan on the name of Gayatri Mantra. So Vrutrasura was previously a Rakshasa. He did a yajna to kill Indra. To kill Indra, he did a yajna in which he spelled out a mantra. With a small mistake, he told like, who want to kill Indra will die. Actually, he wanted that, I want to kill Indra, he should die. With a small syllable mistake, it turned reverse and he was killed by Indra. So how to pronounce the thing, how to pronounce a sentence properly, etc. can be told in Siksha, which is considered as Siksha. Next, Chandas. Nowadays it is called as meters. We have many Anushtup Chandas, etc. Anushtup Chandas, Jagati Chandas, etc. So how many letters combined in one Chandas, how to pronounce it, how to sing it, and etc. can be considered as Chandas Shastra. Nowadays we are writing all the songs, poems, musical notes, etc. Everything comes from Chandas Shastra only. Okay, so prosody, the auxiliary discipline has focused on the poetic meters, including those based on fixed numbers of syllables per verse, and those based on fixed number of modes per verse. Vyakaranam, this is very important. We call it as grammar. In English, we have a grammar like nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, conjunctions, etc., etc., etc. So it was developed for understanding Vedas in Vedic time itself. From that time, we are having Sanskrit grammar, where Panini is one among many grammarians. There are many grammarians. He is famous. Not only Panini wrote grammar. There are 10 people wrote grammar, in which he is very famous. After that, there are many people just focused on his grammar, not the other grammars, because which is very easy and understanding for Sanskrit understanding. Grammar in linguistic analysis. This auxiliary discipline has focused on the rules of grammar and linguistic analysis to establish the exact form of words and sentences to properly express ideas. Next one, Nirukta, which was not clear in Vedas, can be expressed here. Sometimes if we will have doubts. Do you know there are 12 meanings for every mantra, it seems. Sages told in ancient times, our teachers used to tell us, if you find out a meaning to the mantra may not be true. The idea of the poet of Veda mantra is different. There are 12 perceptions to a mantra, 12 perceptions, 12 drishti-konas, 12 types of meanings can be found out. Okay, Nirukta is etymology, explanations of words, particularly those that are archaic and have ancient uses with unclear meaning. Wherever you have unclear meaning, Nirukta clears them all and just give you the proper knowledge of the mantra. Next one, Kalpa. Nowadays, hope you remember, if you do Kalpa means Lakshmi Vratakalpam. You'll have a book called Satyanarayana Vratakalpam. Kalpam is nothing but a procedure. How to perform a yajna, how to perform a yaga, how to perform a homa. Difference between yajna, yaga and homa. Homam, we can make a small fireplace and do some swaha. Yajna is also same. Yaga is also same. What is the difference? We will find out in this Kalpa. Kalpa will just focus us what is how to procedure, how to start a light, how to lit a lamp, how much depth the yajnashala should be, and how much length and width the yajnashala should be, how much ghee you should use, and to purodasha is a roti. Nowadays we eat roti, but in those days people call it purodasha. How to prepare purodasha, and like ghee, we will refine it 7 times. How to refine it, etc. Everything can be seen. What is the procedure can be seen in Kalpa. Next one is Jyotisha. We all know about Jyotisha. Nowadays we understand Jyotisha as astrology, but actual Jyotisha is astronomy. Study of Jyoti is brightening. Sha means study. Study of brightening objects is called astronomy. Later on, we changed it into an individual life understanding. We turned it into astrology. Actually, it is called as astronomy. Auspicious time of rituals, astrology and astronomy, the auxiliary Vedic discipline focused on timekeeping. Actually, you know, this Jyotisha was created only to identify the time of performing yajnas and yagas. Later on, we just turned the same study into the development of king. Later on, we developed into the owner of a house. Slowly, we just downloaded the concept into different perspectives. Now, come to the Smriti. Smriti means memory, smarana, remembrance. How people used to perform, how people used to understand the situation. Now what we are doing, we are trying to understand our ancient people's mind. We are trying to understand the psychology of ancient people, how they pronounced, how they created Vedic literature, how they understood Vedic literature with 6 shastras. Okay, what is the Vyakarana Shastra? We are understanding. It is called Smriti, remembrance. Many people give like their perceptions on Smriti. The term is called as post-Vedic canon. Later Vedic, we are understanding the Vedic time. Now what we are doing, we are understanding the modern Sanskrit literature now. Our maybe next generations, if we remember our contribution is called as Smriti. List of Smritis. We have Atri Smriti, Vishnu Smriti, Harita Smriti, Aushanasi Smriti, Angirasa, Yama, Apastamba, Samvarta, Katyayana, Bruhaspati, Parashara, Vyasa, Shankha, Likhita, Daksha, Gautama, Shatatapa, Vasishtha. These are 18 important people who just gave their research thesis on Smritis. People used to be like this. They performed this because of this. If you do this, you will experience such result, etc. Now, in Kali Yuga, in modern generation, whatever the pujas, whatever the procedures, Shodasha karma like baby naming ceremony and Upanayana, Vivaha, Garbhadhana, etc. Pujas we are doing now, all these are Parashara Smriti related. In Kali Yuga, Parashara Smriti is used? Let me give you a small clarification. Many people are opposing Manusmriti these days. In Manusmriti, all patriarchy is seen, the masculine gender was dominant, women are like almost controlled, etc. In Manusmriti is not used in Kali Yuga. Manusmriti was used in Satya Yuga. So in this situation, in Kali Yuga, we don't use Manusmriti. We are following Parashara Smriti. Parashara is a Smriti which we are using now. Yajnavalkya Smriti used to have in Dwapara Yuga. Dwapara Yuga, Krishna's era, Yajnavalkya used to be used. Now we are using Parashara. Here in Yajnavalkya, we can see Manusmriti, not in 18 scholars list. Manusmriti was used in Satya Yuga. Now come to the Purana. What are Puranas? Pura apinavam Puranam. Even though if it is old, you find new things in it, is called as Puranam. Even though it is old, we find very, very beautiful new concepts. Array, how we forgot, why, how we missed this, etc. We find like this. We understand things in such a way called as Puranam. 18 Puranas, I already told you, classified by Vedavyasa, which is very important. For your understanding, let me be clear. There are 18 more Puranas called as Upa Puranas, which are minor Puranas. Minor is not in the size, the same number of slokas, but considered as minor. There are 18 Puranas. Due to the elaboration of the class, I'm not telling the names of it. If anyone requires, one day we read about Purana Sahityam, Purana literature, then I'll explain you what are the names of 18 Mahapuranas, 18 Upa Puranas. And for your other understanding, let me be clear. There are other 18 Puranas called as Upa Puranas, sub-minor Puranas. 18 Mukhya Puranas, I'll give you the list of them. 18 Upa Puranas, 18 Upa Puranas. These many Puranas were written by our scholars. The first 18 were written by Vedavyasa. The Puranic literature in which we have everything, the society, the leadership, the administration, the polity, the psychology, the science, everything. It has everything. So we call it as Puranic literature is an encyclopedia. Now, as we have encyclopedias, in those terms, Puranas are encyclopedias. And it includes diverse topics such as cosmology, okay, cosmology, genealogy, goddesses, kings, horses, administration, sages, demigods, rakshasas, folk tales, pilgrimages, temples, medicine, astronomy, grammar. If you see Agni Purana was considered as an encyclopedia. You have everything. Wonderful topics can be seen in Agni Purana. Okay, stories, theology, philosophy, everything you find in Puranas. Just go to the list of Puranas. I think you have heard some names. To just give you a brief explanation, you might have heard some names. Number 1, Bhagavata Purana, which is heard, Bhagavatam, about Krishna's life history. Vishnu Purana is considered as first Purana, in which I told you 28 Vyasas are there. I told you, you can find this in Vishnu Purana. Naradiya Purana, entire Narada's perception. Vamana Purana, speaking about the Vamana Avatara and its happening in the situation and the environment and the time, etc. Matsya Purana, Garuda Purana, from the perception of Garuda, how Garuda looked the philosophy into. Brahma Purana, knowing about Brahma in a different ways. Bhavishya Purana, which speaks about future in that time, how the future will be predicted in this. Agni Purana, which is called as Encyclopedia of Puranas. We have everything in it. Brahma Vaivarta Purana, another Purana, Brahma Vaivarta. Brahmanda Purana, which speaks about the entire Brahmandam. Brahmandam means universe. Next is Padma Purana. Next is Shiva Purana, which is very famous, in which you can find out the concepts of sounds. Nowadays we are doing sound therapy. Sound therapy, etc. can be considered in this. How sounds produced, what type of sound heals the health of a person, what a shankha, conch sound heals what type of diseases, veena vaidya, if you play veena, what types of diseases will be controlled, etc. can be learned from this Shiva Purana, scientific perspective. Linga Purana, another one. Kurma Purana, another Purana from the perspective of Kurma Avatara concept. Markandeya Purana. You know Markandeya, very great devotee of Shiva, who escaped Yama's death grip. Next, Varaha Purana, about Varaha Avatara and its necessity and perception. Last is Skanda Purana. Skanda is none other than Kumaraswamy. Kumaraswamy is also called as Skanda. Okay, understanding. So who is Skanda? Son of Lord Parvati and Parameshwara. In this Skanda Purana only we have all vratas. So do you know Satyanarayana Vrata is in Skanda Purana? Okay, in which lot of rivers, many rivers, and then their importance was explained. In which Reva is a river. Near Reva river, whatever the situations happened, whatever the stories happened, in that perspective, we found this Satyanarayana Vrata Puja. So all our Puranas, cultures, like all whatever we are behaving unknowingly, they are from our Vedic perspective. Yeah, that's what someone is asking about Devi Purana. All these are Upa Puranas. Whatever the Puranas we found, Shaktiya Puranas, etc. All these are from Upa and Upa Puranas. In the next classes, I'll give you the list. Let me be clear in very important major topics of Purana, like Vedic literature. Puranas are very important. Next, Panini was a successful grammarian who preserved the Devanagari language. What he did, he was moved entire country, entire place at the time, and just understood the dialects, understood the, and he just made a PDF, picturized document file. Now we are using PDF which are not amendable by others, right? Once if it is PDF, people can read, cannot amend. He made a grammar into PDF at the time, so he is called as a scholar at the time. Even now he is being considered a scholar because no one can amend even a syllable in Paninian grammar. He wrote only one book called Ashtadhyayi. You'll be amazed. The book will be very small, only 400 bits. That is 400 sutras. Sorry, 4,000 sutras. 4,000 sutras in 8 chapters. See the word Ashta Adhyayi. Adhyaya is a chapter, Ashta is 8. So it is called as Ashta Adhyayi. Okay, this is called as Ashta Adhyayi. He wrote only 8 chapters with 4,000 formulas of grammar. That's it. No one just can read but cannot amend the grammar of Sanskrit language. Since this is time to be like later on, it is called as Sanskritam. Till then it was called as Devanagari script. Now it is called as Sanskritam. It means refined language or joined together. Joined together. Sanskritam. He joined all the dialects to one Sanskrita language. That's why if you write something, it is a universal. You go to any place, it is understood. Right. The other thing, Shruti, just let me have a brief explanation, whatever I told. Let me sum up. Then we'll go to some discussion part, some important Sanskrit language communications today. Because more literature, maybe some people may bored. Vedas, the foundation of scriptures of Hindus, or eternal truth revealed to great sages. And Vedas are not written by anybody. It was heard. That's why we call Vedas as Apaurusheya. Purusha Nirmita Na. It was not created by Purusha. It was heard by the sages. So it is called as Apaurusheya. Classification of Vedas, I already told you. Rigveda is general knowledge about appreciation. Yajurveda is action about performing yajnas and yagas. Sama, knowledge of worship, is again singing in songs. Otherwise, knowledge of sciences. Oh, after Vedas, the ending is Upanishads. Hinduism encourages questioning, and Upanishads are recordings of such conversations and dialogues. Students used to ask questions. Who is the God? Then he tells God is like this. There is an Upanishad called Taittiriya Upanishad, in which a lot of questions asked by Varunam Pitaram Upasasara Athihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. Oh Father, please teach me what is Brahma. Varunam Pitaram Upasasara Athihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. Satapo Tapyata Satapastaptva. Go and do the meditation, you will find out. Because no one can tell what God is. You by yourself should experience what God is, etc. All the beautiful discussions. Do you know we tell Om Shanti 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 3 times every time? After every mantra, after every puja, people will tell Shanti Shanti Shanti. What are 3 Shantis? Very important question. We just spell many times, but we don't know. You know what? One Shanti is Adhyatmika. It is there are only 3 problems. One is internal, related to the soul, related to the physic, that is body, related to the divine. Means if you have some psychological problems, we call it as Atma Pida, related to the problem related to the soul. If you got hurt, or if you got fever, stomach ache, heart attack, etc., are related to the physic. It's called as Adhi Bhautika Pida, problems of physic. If you have tornadoes like Corona, etc., Adi Daivika Pida. So let God controls us from 3 problems: Adi Atmika, Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika. Adi Atma, Adi Bhautika, Daiva. Atma, Bhautika, Daiva. Bhautika, Atma, Bhautika, Daiva. Bhautika, Daiva. So these 3 problems, Shanti, we call it as Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So there should be no problem, not only for me. No Atma Pida, no Bhautika Pida, no Daivika Pida. Tornadoes should not come. We pray God that no tornadoes or no Corona, etc. should come. We pray not to come. So that is Adi Daivika. I should not have fever, stomachache, etc. It's called as Shanti, Bhautika Shanti, physical peace. Atma Shanti, soul related. I should not have any psychological disturbances. That is Atma Shanti. So these are questions asked in Upanishads. These things came out from Upanishads. Okay, so it's a beautiful thing in Shruti. Parts of Veda, Rig, Sama, Yajur, like praise of God, etc. Again, the same thing. This is a very beautiful Vedic literature. So you can see 3 things here: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda. Like Siksha is nothing but phonetics, Vyakarana is grammar, Chandas is meters, like Nirukta is etymology, Jyotisham astronomy, Kalpam is ceremony, is process of doing thing. I told you, if Veda is a person, Rigveda, like Siksha is considered as nose. Siksha Granam tu Vedasya. Mukham Vyakaranam Smrutam. Vyakaranam was considered as Mukha. Chandah Padau tu Vedasya. Chandah is feet. To walk, we need feet, right? So Veda walks on feet, nothing but Chandas. Niruktam is ears, how to listen properly. Nirukta is ears to Veda. Jyotisham is eye, to which we see and understand and just use it in our life. Hastah kalpau to kachyadevi. You do things with the hands. So Vedic literature, Kalpam was considered as hands. With the help of these 6 Vedangas, that is Veda is knowledge, Anga is limbs of Veda. With these limbs, we will understand Vedas. With 6 Shastras, by understanding 6 Shastras, we can understand Vedas in a better way. Only we can understand Vedas through these 6 routes. Okay. Next, there are Vedas, Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Gandharva Veda, Sthapatya Veda or Artha Veda. So there are 4. Like all Vedic concepts in one slide. Dharma Shastras, I told you, Smrutis, like Manusmriti, Parashara Smriti, Yajnavalkya, like other Smritis are there. So these are used in different yugas. Like coming to the very important part, very small part, Darshanas, how to look at Vaisheshika Darshana, science of logic, Okay, futility of Maya, etc. can be seen in Vaisheshika Darshana, science of logic. Nyaya, logical quest of God, phases of creation, where we bought our law. Okay, law education is from this. Yoga, nowadays, which is very famous in the entire world. On June 21st, we do Yoga Day. Anyone know the reason of only performing yoga on 21st of June? I request you a small question, which is very important. Anyone? If anyone knows, please tell me. I'm waiting for it. Why only June 21st? Okay, let me tell you.
Equinox.
The 21st is the, sorry, someone telling, yeah?
It's a equinox, like
Actually, the day 21st is considered as the longest day. 21st June was considered as a longest day. Longest day. So our lifespan should be longest. Expecting that 21st June was Yoga Day. Because there are many days. Why only that day? Because it is considered as the longest daytime. Suryodaya, Suryastamaya will be in a very longest time. So that's why it is considered as yoga. Written by Patanjali, a great scholar. He wrote Patanjali Yoga Shastra. Later on, many scholars developed the theory of Patanjali Yoga into Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga, etc. But Patanjali is the basic one. First one to introduce Veda to the society. Sankhya, eliminate physical and mental pains and receive liberations. Okay, so in which there are 25 elements are there, like Pancha Bhutas, Pancha Tanmatras, okay, Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, Buddhi, Manaha, Ahankara, etc. Prakriti and Purusha. These are 25 actually. So those things, how to understand that, how to understand the society, how to understand the creation, everything can be understood through Sankhya. Now, other thing is Vedanta, that is Upanishads. Okay, explains the divine nature of soul, Maya, and creation. Mimamsa explains Vedas are eternal and divine. It's compiled with all discussions and debates. Mimamsa. Student asks a question, why it is. Teacher answers, why this is because. So, like these are called as darshanas. We can see darshanas are the perspectives of Vedas. So we understand now today we understood Veda, Upanishad, Purana, Smriti, and Darshana. Veda, Upanishad, Smriti, Purana, and Darshana. And Shastras. That is Vedanga. 6 completed today. Next one is Itihasas. Itihasas are not actually considered as Vedic literature. From Itihasas, we consider Sanskrit as little modern. Because Ramayana was the first poetry where you can find a first shloka. First shloka. Previously, it was considered as mantra. Everything in meters, chandas are considered as mantra. From Ramayana, we consider it as shloka. Ma nishada pratishtham tvam agamashashvati samah yat krauncha midhuna dekam avadhi kama mohitam. The first shloka written by, like it was unexpectedly came out. Shokaha shlokattamagataha. There are 2 krauncha pakshi, in which one of them was killed by a hunter. Valmiki observed that someone killed a very beautiful couple birds. He felt very bad and just started telling like this, you will not live long. That's it. You will not live long. He died. Shokaha, the pain, came out in the form of shloka, the first shloka. That is the first shloka of Ramayana. That's what we see now. The separation of Rama and Sita, the story turns. That is the basic story. The previously was entirely created very beautiful way. The first one is Ramayana. The second is Mahabharata. I told you Mahabharata was a concept done by Vedavyasa, taking the essence of entire Veda. Itihasa. Veda, Shastra, Purana, Smriti, Darshana, Upanishad, Itihasa. So 7 topics, which are very, very important in our ancient time. Next, I gave you it's a list of Puranas. And you find it in Google also. These are the Shloka Sankhya. In total, 4 lakh is in only main 18 Puranas. Major 18 Puranas got 4 lakh shlokas. Imagine adding the Upa and Upa Puranas, how many they might be. Next, this is the last slide of our today's class. Let me just conclude. This is a very beautiful thing. The first one is Samhita, 4 Vedas, Vedanga, 6 Shastras, Dharma Shastras, like Smritis, etc. Upanishads, I gave you a list of Upanishads here. 10, like the 10 are very important in which. Okay. Next, Itihasa, Rama and Mahabharata. You can find Bhagavad Gita in Mahabharata only. It's not a separate book written by somebody. It is a part of Veda. So it is a part of Mahabharata. Like Darshana, see, you have Darshanas in one same thing. Like this is added actually. Agama is a different concept. But Upavedas, Ardhaveda, Ayurveda, Gandharva, Dhanurveda, Shilpaveda. These are Puranas, 18 Puranas. So whatever we read today, whatever we discussed today about ancient Indian or ancient Vedic literature is in one slide. Complete a Vedic literature in one slide. This is Vedic literature, where itihasas are a sub part of ancient and sub part of modern literature. That itihasas, Ramayana and Mahabharata were inspiration for the future poetry. Completely future poetry was based on Ramayana and Mahabharata. Many hundreds and thousands of poetry came out on Ramayana and Mahabharata only. On the characters, characterizations, the natures and the environment on Mahabharata and Ramayana, lot of scholars wrote poetry. Okay, so this is our ancient time. Okay, so today, a very important thing, let me start with one small Sanskrit communication. Okay, is this clear for everyone? Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
clear.
Thank you. I'm just opening a Word document now. Okay. I'm sharing the screen. Just tell me.
We can't see the screen yet.
Just a second. Just I'm opening it. Yeah. I think now you can.
Yes.
What is this?
Sri Ram.
Sri Ram.
Yeah, thank you. So you are able to understand the writings like Sanskrit writings. Okay. Now, world starts with me. The word starts with me. So I'm starting what I am. It is called as aham. Aham means me. Aham. If it is belongs to me, it is called as mine, right? For mine, we call it as, in Sanskrit, is mama. Simple. Aham, me or I. Okay. Mama means mine. Aham, I. Mama, mine. Okay. The next one is called as Nama. Nama means, we know that. I think you people can tell. What is Nama? Name. Okay. I is me. Mine is mama. That is mine. Name is the first one. Aham Raghuramaha. I am Raghuram. Aham Raghuramaha. Mama Nama, my name is. My name is. Mama Nama. We can call it as Mama Nama. Mama Nama Raghuramaha. I want everyone to pronounce and just tell your name adding Mama Nama. Or two things. Aham Raghuramaha, Mama Nama Raghuramaha. I am Raghuram, my name is Raghuram.
Aham
Okay.
Santosh, Mama Nama Santosh.
Santoshaha.
Santoshaha.
For all masculine genders, let me be clear. I'll give you another one. All male nouns or masculine nouns are ends with visarga. Visarga. Yeah. Ramah. Santoshah. Bhikshapatihi. If it is a feminine gender words, ends with dirgham. Dirgha. Dirgha means Sita, Gita, etc. Sita, Gita, etc. Okay, so I want you people to tell all like men should end their name with Visarga, all ladies should end their name with Dirgha. Aham Raghuramaha. Mama Nama Raghurama. Yeah, I want everyone, just please continue.
Aham Shama Sundara.
Super. Mama Nama Shama Sundara. Two sentences I told, na? One is Aham Mama Nama.
Aham Veena.
Ah.
Mama Namaha Veena.
Namaha no, only Nama.
Mama Nama Veena.
Super. Next.
Aham. Go ahead.
Aham Shanti. Mama Nama Shanti.
Dirgham Shanti.
Shanti.
Ah, super. Next.
Aham
Garlapati ji.
Venkateshwaraha.
Ah.
Mama Nama Venkateshwaraha.
Ah. Actually, it is not Venkateshwara Swami, it is Venkateshwara. There should be a dirgha in Ve. Not many people generally don't spell it out, but it should be Venkateshwara. Its actual pronunciation is Venkateshwara. Very good. Next one. Next, sir.
Aham Priya. Mama Nama Priya.
Super. Very good. Next.
Aham Meenakshi.
Ah.
Mama Nama Meenakshi.
Super. Next one.
Aham Chinnareddy. Mama Nama Chinnareddy.
Yeah, very good. Next. Next.
Aham Kavita. Mama Nama Kavita.
Super. Very good. Next.
Aham Bhikshapati. Mama Nama
Visarga.
Bhikshapatihi.
Ah.
Aham Bhikshapatihi.
Ah. Aham Bhikshapatihi. Very good.
Mama Nama Bhikshapatihi.
Excellent. Next.
Aham Lakshma. Lakshmaha. I'm not sure, but Mama Nama Lakshma.
Lakshma is not a complete word, Swami. There should be something.
Lakshma Reddy.
Like Lakshma Reddy. Lakshma Reddy. If it is Reddy, Lakshma Reddy, he, etc. Okay.
All
Great,
right.
Swami.
Next.
Anyone still in the meeting? I'm unable to see.
अहं रामकृष्णः मम नाम रामकृष्णः
Super, very good. Next.
अहं किशोर मम नाम किशोर
Kishoraha. Kishore means a baby. Kishoraha. Once again, can we repeat it? Kishoraha.
किशोरः
Aham Kishoraha.
अहं किशोरः मम नाम किशोरः
Excellent, excellent. Next.
अहम अशोक मम नाम अशोकः
Ashokaha. Very good. Next. Anyone there still?
Aham Rama. Mama
Rama.
nama Rama.
Ramaha. Very good, Rama.
Rama.
It should be Ramaha.
Okay.
Aham Ramaha. Repeat again.
Aham Rama.
Very good.
Nama Ram. Mama
Nama.
nama Ramaha.
Very good, very good, very good. Aham Ramaha, mama nama Ramaha. Very good. Next one. Next, sir. Anyone? Okay. So this is how we talk with each other. Namaskara. Namaskaraha. Mama nama Ramaha. Bhavataha nama kim? It's a question again. Bhavataha ante your. Bhavataha. It is not, actually it should be Visarga. Bhavataha. Bhavataha. Bhavataha, your. It means your. You and your. What is the difference between you and your? You is just pointing someone. Your related to you is called as your, belongs to. So, mama nama Ramaha, bhavataha nama kim. Kim is a question. Kim. Kim. What? It's a question. Simple. We are ending this session with the only two topics. Like Kim is what? Today we learn about Aham. It is means me, I, Mama, mine, Aham, Raghuramaha, Mama Nama Raghuramaha, my or mine, difference. Okay. For all masculine gender words, we add Visarga. All feminine nouns, we add Dirgham. That is Gita. Actually, it's a mistake. It is Gita. Okay. Bhavataha is your. Kim is what? Bhavataha nama Kim. What if I forgot my name? What I should tell? I forgot my name. What should I form a sentence? Simple.
Aham
Pardon? Kavita ji?
Aham Vispramami.
No. Don't go to that long. In this sentence only, in this page only, we have a question. As I forgot my name, what I should make a sentence? I forgot my name. Don't forgot. No. What is my name?
Aham Kim Nama.
Okay. Aham.
Kim
I
Nama.
what name? Is it right?
Okay. Kim Nama. Kim. What?
Mama Nama Kim.
Kim Nama.
Very good. Someone told it is Mama Nama Kim. Excellent. Or Kim Nama Mama. Anything. You know, one more very interesting thing I tell you. This is what the beauty of Sanskrit. You place any word anywhere, the meaning is same. You place any word anywhere, the meaning is same. Let me be clear. Ramaha Vanam Gacchati. Okay, Rama, if you translate it in English, we call it as Rama is going to forest. In Sanskrit, there are only 3 words. All these supporting words are inculcated in the sentence itself. If you just Ramaha vanam gachati, Rama is going to forest. If you cut this vana, apply it here, vanam Ramaha gachati, the same meaning, Rama is going to forest. Or cut this gachati before, gachati vanam Ramaha, Rama is going to forest, the same. Rama, cut, apply it between, gachati Ramaha vanam, the same meaning. It's a beauty of language, as if you place any word anywhere, but it should be the word, complete word. Okay? If you write a complete word, place it anywhere, the meaning will not change. That's the reason, even now, the Vedic literature is still alive, because without any modification, without any changes, without any disturbances, it is active because of this concept. Place the word anywhere, the meaning will not change. Okay? So in this way, the question is, Mama Nama Kim. It's a question. You write it anywhere. Kim Nama Mama. It is fine.
Or Nama Kim Nama.
Kim Nama Mama. It's a fine question.
Nama Kim Mama.
Ah, Kim Mama Nama. Kim, sorry. Kim Mama Nama. Fine, the same thing. So what is my name? If I forgot my name, I should ask, what is my name? You, however you place words, the meaning is same, the question is same. You cannot be disturbed. Okay? So today we learned my name, how to ask my name, like how to tell my name. Mama Nama Raghurama. Bhavataha Nama Kim. Repeat everyone once again. Bhavataha. Bhavataha. Bhavataha means your. Bhavataha. Again, Nama and Kim we already learned. Kim is what? Nama is name. Right? So, Mama Nama Raghuramaha Bhavataha Nama Kim? Mama Kim Nama? Mama Nama Ramaha Bhavataha Nama Kim. That's it. So this is my name. Bhavataha Mama Nama Ramaha. My name is Rama. Okay, Bhavataha Nama Kim. What is your name? That's it. 2 sentences we learned today. Okay, repeat again. Mama Nama Ramaha. Bhavataha Nama Kim. Bhavataha Nama Kim. Bhavataha your Nama name Kim. What? Bhavataha Nama Kim. Just pronounce it. It will be an exercise for your mouth. It is easy. Bhavataha Nama Kim. Bhavataha Nama Kim. Bhavataha Nama Kim. If you want it in English, I'll write. Bhavataha Nama Kim. Bhavataha Nama Kim. Mama Nama Ramaha. Bhavataha Nama Kim. Mama Nama Ramaha. Bhavataha Nama Kim. Mama Nama Bhikshapatihi. Bhavataha Nama Kim. Mama Nama Dattaha. Dat Bulusuji. It should be Dattaha. Mama Nama Dattaha. Bhavataha Nama Kim. Mama Nama Veena. Bhavataha Nama Kim. You, what is your name? Like this. Okay, so this actually, let me conclude till here. So 2 sentences we read today. We will continue in the next class with different pictures, different concepts and all. I wanted to introduce you to the literature of Veda, because without knowing it, we don't value something without its history. Sanskrit is such a beautiful, vast history. So I wanted to introduce you in one class. So in the first class, we introduced what actually Sanskritam is, how close we are. Now I want to tell you how great our Sanskrit and our Indian literature is. I should not tell it as Sanskrit literature, it should be Indian Bharatiya Sahityam. How many great scholars contributed to our development of society, that is Sahityam. So I want to listen to you today and your very new known things like Kotta Vishayalu, Naye jo cheez aap seekhe hain, like new few minutes, and let us conclude today's topic.
Acharya ji,
Ji.
there is no verb necessary in Sanskrit.
What?
Seems like Kim Mama Nama. There is no verb in it. Whereas when you translate it,
okay,
what is my name? There is a verb.
What
In
is
Sanskrit,
my name? Where is the verb in English?
Is. Is the verb.
Is not a verb, Swami. It's a supporting article.
Well,
it's called as avyaya.
Yeah, but still it is considered a verb.
Okay. Generally, like in the question, there is no verb actually. So,
Right.
bhavataha, your, nama kim, simple.
In
There is no verb in it, it is an article. Is, a, etc. are articles here.
Yeah, but in Sanskrit,
Okay.
there doesn't seem to be any need for verb.
Okay. It's not like that, Swami. The verbs are very important in Sanskrit. When it is required, definitely people used it. So, in some questions, actually, there are few shlokas. I think recently I posted a shloka.
Gachati ikkada verbe kada.
Gachati is a verb, but now today we did not use it.
No, Kim Mam Nama.
Kim, mama, nama. Ending you should add mama, nama. These are vowel ending words. Vowel ending. In Hindi, people will just delete last vowel. Ram,
Yeah.
Shyam.
Yeah,
It should be
there are
Rama.
not.
It should be
Yeah,
Shyama.
But
This
they
is Sanskrit.
but they say, what is your name? Tumhara naam kya hai?
That is what I told. No, that is Hindi.
Right.
What is the word? What is the meaning of Hindi? The ending deletions are called as Hindi.
Correct. But in this Sanskrit language, the beauty seems to be you don't need a verb to ask a question.
Exactly. Sometimes, not every time.
Not all
What
the
are you
time,
doing? If there is a particular verb, doing, karoti, bhavan kim karoti, then we use.
Correct.
When it is necessary, definitely they use. When there is not necessary, when it is understandable, they don't use.
Yeah, man.
There is a shloka also. Yesterday I just gave you some shloka in which there is no verb at all. But it is understood.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Tell me something what you learned new today. Thank you very much for listening to a good
I
class.
learned how to communicate. That is interesting. The other thing I would like to ask you is, you said in Kali Yuga we use Parashara Smriti. Could you elaborate on what you mean by that?
Means the Parashara Smriti was particularly used in Kali Yuga. All scholars will use Parashara Smriti only. In Kali Yuga, it is used.
No, but ante emiti ani?
Kali Yuganlo Parashara Smrtini andaru follow avvali ani. Everyone should follow Parashara Smrti only. It is a command given by our saints.
No, it's still difficult for me to understand. In what context are we using that? Are we using it in our daily
I'll give you the reference particularly to the separate message to you, Swami. There is a shloka which tells that what smriti we used in Satya Yuga, what smriti people used in Treta Yuga, what smriti we used in Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga also, which is very clearly prescribed in our ancient times. I'll send you the reference to your message.
Okay.
Okay. Other people, Bhikshapati ji, anything to say?
Mute lo unnaru.
No problem. Sir, mute.
Mute, right.
Sir.
In a sentence, a word can be anywhere. That is really wonderful, actually. Mama Nama Rama, Mama Rama Nama. Is it like that?
Like, okay, that's okay. Ramaha Nama Mama.
Acha, Ramaha Nama Mama. Okay.
Rama, you learned something new today?
Kind of.
Kind of? Okay, very good. Okay, anyone, Swami, anyone to tell? Let us, or shall I conclude?
Yes, sir. Very good. We learned something today.
Okay. The next class, we learn about the communication part next time, because 2 theories completed. Let me go to practicals in the next class. Very simple practicals, where we'll be introduced to communicate Sanskrit to each other.
Very good.
Okay. So thank you very much for patience and listening to the class for me. Thank you very much. Dhanyavadaha.
Dhanyavada.